bringing you the best in country and Irish music. This is your station, irishcountrymusicradio.com.
I can't hide the pain or the sorrow that comes with a loved one's goodbye.
And there you have it. That is, of course, Mr. Noel Flynn and a loved one's goodbye. And you know what? We have Mr. Flynn on the phone as we speak. Yes. Hello there, Noel. How are you going on tonight?
Hello, Seamus. How are you? How's things?
Not too bad. Sorry, go ahead. Jeez, I'm cutting you across already. I'm an awful man.
Oh, you're not at all. Not at all. No, all is good. All is good, yeah. So I hope everything's okay with you all out in Radio Land and everyone's keeping safe.
Yeah, trying to anyway. You were saying there just off the air there that a little bit of rain up where you are. Where are you from yourself, Noel?
We're up here in Athboy, County Meath.
And you had a little drop of it was a Carl Faringa, as the fellow says, Vishay Fluck today.
Vishay Fluck, yeah. I wouldn't be good with the Irish now, even though Racarn is only across the road from me. Never done Irish in school.
Well, I was taught Irish more as a punishment rather than a language as such, you know what I mean? So, but I get by on a little bit, like, you know. So
you're not too bad at it now.
No, I get by as a person. Now, what was I going to say to you? Anyway, you were talking about even going to school, like, and the like, and how when did Noel Flynn get started on the music? Like, I mean, we'll cut to the chase. We'll just cut to the chase here. And how or what happened, or was it when you were a chap, like, I mean, or was it later on in life that the urge came to get up on the stage and to bellow out?
Yeah, well, see, I suppose, like, it's in the music there, I was doing a lot of DJing. I was travelling around doing weddings and a lot of corporate gigs and stuff like that. And I just decided, I went to see Robert Mazzell one night, and I liked what he was doing, and I says, geez, I like that. I says, I can do that. So that's what I done. I went to a friend of mine, Pat Murray, and he did some tracks for me, and I went into Davy Arkins and recorded an album, and sent that album down to a guy called Pat Garrett in Limerick, and he started playing a lot of my music, and then from there on, it took off, and so that was in 2010, that was, when the first album came out. So that's how I got started. And then on, I just kept working, and I done some of my own kind of shows, the pubs and stuff like that. And then I worked on to get the band, you know.
And would the music, like, I mean, would there have, like, when you were a chap, like, I mean, would you have sang or much, or was it just, or did the honey really come to you? Like, did your epiphany come, I should say, when you beheld the view of Mr. Mazzell on the stage?
Well, I used to get up and you go out for a night, you go to the pub and you get up, I might sing a song with a band that was there, you know, and I like singing, even though there's not many people in the family now that does sing. I don't think there's any. I think there's one, my auntie, she sings in the choir, but I've always loved music. You know, you'd listen to the country shows back here, God rest Dermot Finglas, and in them days he'd have them on in the evening, you listen to country shows, and country was my thing. I love country, you know. And that's why I got into it.
Yeah, and so, yeah, and you were doing a bit of DJing as well, like, I mean, you were saying, I do a bit of that myself, like, well, I did up to
it. You still are.
well, I mean, like, I mean, I'm doing a bit of radio presenting as well, like, but when I say DJing, it was, you know, when you're out on the road, shall we say, and you're playing the tracks or whatever, like, I mean,
that's right.
And, but, what's that, was it weddings, parties, the like of that was...
Yeah, I done a lot of weddings. I was booked up nearly for the whole year and the next, doing weddings and parties. I was absolutely doing probably 3 or 4 nights a week doing that, as well as working. You know, I was running a business there myself. I was in the plastering game and all that. And I just loved what I was doing, you know, and, it just gets you out of all the hustle and bustle of work, you know, and it's good de-stress.
Yeah.
You know, so, and as I said, then the music came along and the singing then, you know, and it's just, never look back. I have all the DJ gear still out there, the whole lot still out in the studio. never use it. Well, I use it now and again, but yeah, it'll still be there, I think, unless my son takes it up, which I doubt it. He will, you know.
He's not. Well, then again, of course, like, I mean, what you were using for DJing, like, I mean, I remember, like, it wasn't too long ago that you had. I mean, it was all records, and then it became CDs, and then for a little while there was mini disc involved, and now it's all MP3, laptops, and the like. And God only knows what'll be the next thing that they'll have.
I know, but I was old school. I used to come in with a big box of albums, and I had a box of singles, and I used to play them on the old Pioneer systems, the CDJ 400 system. That's what I was working off, but I knew where everything was.
Yeah.
You know, just everything had its place, and there was a place for everything, and I just put my hand on it and wanted. If someone wanted a song, I knew exactly where to go. I had 300-400 CDs that I'd carry around with me. You know.
You're telling your brother about it here now, because
in that game, as I said, when you're doing weddings and stuff like that, you have to have like everything. You know, my music went back well into the 60s with a lot of old stuff, and you know, people come up and say, "Have you got this?" And I'd look for it, I'd have it, you know.
Yeah.
But I'm not a computer man at all. But, you know, nowadays as you go, you have the computer and you just press in whatever song you want to play, and that's it. You know, it's up and it's on then on the decks.
Yeah, it takes the spirit out of it though. Yeah, you don't have the spirit that you'd have, or it's nearly like just leaving it up there and then you can go on home and come back at the end of the night, like, I mean.
Well, that's it. Set your program and it's done, you know. Yeah. I don't think they pay you though. They could do that themselves.
That can happen, yeah. And who, when you were saying then that you loved your music growing up, and who would you have particularly liked, or who would you have been a huge fan of, Noel?
Of course, the old Larry Cunningham. Like, I love Larry's stuff there, and the old American Waylon Jennings, all them. You know, they were brilliant. You know, that's the kind of stuff I like. I love the American, the old traditional country.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
what I was into.
You know? Would you model your own voice on the like of Larry now, or I mean, or would you try? I mean, for a certain kind of a voice, or is it just
No, I think, as I said, I try and keep my own, you know, even like singing American songs, I try and do it myself. I don't kind of put on an American voice to sing a song, you know, it's how I feel a song is how I will sing a song, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
You know, like, as you say, you listen to a lot of stuff there that I do, you know, but yeah, it's, you know, leave the legends as they are and try and make one yourself.
Yeah, and when you talk about the American, or even like, would there be anyone that you'd have a liking? I mean, if you were given an opportunity to do a duet with anyone, whether Irish or American, like, I mean, would any of them catch your fan? Like, who would be your dream, shall we say, duet?
Oh, I love Vince Gill.
Yeah. Oh, well,
yeah.
Preaching to the choir here.
Yeah, I love Vince Gill and Rhonda Vincent. I love her stuff now. The old stuff she does is brilliant. Like, I've recorded some of her songs and Vince Gill's songs there now. And so, yeah, they're the two people I'd love to do, but it'll never happen.
Oh, never say never. Sir James Bond said never say never again, you know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I know he did. Many lives that he got.
Yeah, he always seemed, no matter what happened, like, I mean, with James Bond, he always seemed to be able to come up shining out of it, you know. Yeah, something like the A-Team, you know.
Yeah, close. MacGyver, as they say. I have a good friend there, Bridget Grace, and she's absolutely a MacGyver mad, so she is. You know, if you look at her Facebook there, I think her MacGyver is her profile page. Yeah, there were great old things. Like, now, it's now when you look back and you see all that, like, you know, God, well, we looked at that stuff, you know.
Yeah, well, it was great crack though. We
didn't know any better, you know. It's part of growing up, isn't it?
Yeah, and then all you needed was the Swiss Army knife. Like, I mean, Nicola Arnold knows what I'm talking about with the Swiss Army knife now. But
never had one. Had one.
Well, I had one now. I wasn't too great with it. Like, I mean, I think I was one of the few fellas that was able to knock the edge off a Swiss Army knife. You know what I mean? So.
Oh, say that.
But you had one of my favourite songs of your own will be a country playing band. There's I just love your voice in it, and even the whole lyrics of it and all. And where did that come from? That was an original, like, I mean, it wasn't.
Yeah, that was an original, and down in Dundalk wrote that song, and he asked me what to do it, so we done it, went into the studio, and put it together. Pat Murray recorded it for me, and put it out. Yeah, it's a lovely song, it's an original. It just tells the story of, I suppose, the likes of me and any young country star coming up, you know, listening to the music, listening to the radio, going out doing your thing, then getting the band, you're on the road, you're travelling around, you know, and then you find the woman, and then you have to stop.
I know. We had to be very careful here. Any women listening in, please bear in mind that we are not saying anything bold about you or anything like that. You know? No. It's all good fun. Yeah, but yeah, as you said, when you get the woman and you kind of have kids and settle down, you have to kind of take it a little bit easier and maybe do 1 or 2 nights a week, you know, on the road. Yeah, it's very hard to conduct a relationship when you're on the road the whole time, like, I mean, with a band or whatever. People don't, that's one part of the music scene that people don't see as such. Like, I mean, they see someone on the stage in Kerry tonight and in Donegal tomorrow night, and they're not allowing for the fact like that it's a 4-hour trip home, jump into a bed and get back up the next day. Like, I mean, maybe not seeing her, I mean, your other half or your kids or anything, and setting off for on another 3 or 4 hour trip to the far side of the country again.
That's right. Yeah. That's the hard part. So it is, you know. But look at it. It said we do it because we love it, you know, and we just love entertaining and people coming and dancing, you know, and meeting the same people. It's brilliant, you know. That's what it's all about, you know.
Yeah, you have a Loved One's Goodbye. That's your new single. I was playing it there just before you came on. And tell us a little bit about that one, Noel, or what, because I believe you have an album and all to match it.
That's right, yeah. We have an album there, an Irish album done, and it's on that one. And but that song came around because we done recorded with Noel Flynn, and we're just looking for songs, and because I knew this song from years ago, because I used to be a big Daniel fan. Yeah. So when he started out, and I never got to see him. I remember one night because we lived in England then, and Daniel was coming, and I knew the light man, Jimmy, I think it was, the lighting man, and he says, "Come to the back of the Nottingham Opera House," and he says, "We'll get you in." But we were late, of course. We knocked on the door, and he says, "You can't come in." He started. So I was a big Daniel fan anyway, but that song came, Glenn says, "There's a great waltz here." And listened to it, and I said, "Oh God, I know that song." Yeah, so that's how that came along with doing My Loved One's Goodbye. It's a lovely song, lovely story to it.
Yeah, and you were saying then that that's part of the Irish album that you have. You have and you have another. Is it an American style album? Then you have as well. There's 2 albums ready to come out. Is it, or one? Well, one at the moment and one for a little.
Yeah, because I have the Irish album. Hopefully, I'll have that out now next couple of weeks. And then go to the American one. I'll probably leave it for another few weeks as well. Like, you know, the American one is traditional kind of American country, all the old stuff, you know, a lot of Gene Watson and Clint Black and Vince Gill and Rhonda Vincent and all that stuff is on it, you know, it's stuff that I've done, you know. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting them out. As I say, at the minute the way things are, it's just tough for us because, you know, a lot of places are not duplicating and it's hard to get in, and you know, it's just tough not being able to get out there and do your stuff, you know.
Yeah, as they say, it's not considered essential unless you happen to love your music, and then it is essential, you know. So. Yeah,
it is, like, you know, but as I said, I've been going to the studio now through this pandemic and probably before it as well, but like, as I said, I go down to Tullamore to Lens, and, you know, so the guards will be stopping you, maybe you have 2 or 3 checkpoints and say, "Where are you going?" "I'm going to the studio, I'm recording." "Is it essential?" I says, "Oh, well, I think it is." I says, you know, it's part of my job. I have to get out there and get stuff done, you know. And he says, "Well, man has to work, off you go." You know what I mean? Yeah, so some of them are very decent, like, you know, but it's a bit nerve-wracking having to travel, and, you know, some might turn you back or you get fined, you know, so we don't want that either.
No, definitely don't. And on the Irish album then, what will be on the Irish album along with A Loved One's Goodbye?
Well, I've said The Isle of Innisfree and Sweet Mother's Eyes and Green Hill, which they're two originals that PJ Pollock wrote for me. And Nobody's Darling. There's a good variety of it, and there's a couple of country ones on it as well, American country ones. So it's a good variety. It's a easy listening album, so, and of course The Loved One's Goodbye. The album will be called Sweet Mother's Eyes.
Sweet Mother's Eyes. We'll have to keep an eye open for that one then. But
yeah.
you were saying you weren't originally from Ireland then, Noel, was it? Or were you born over in the UK?
God, yes, yeah. Yes. I was born in Trim, not far from my home place.
Yeah.
So it was, but when we moved to England, probably 86, went to England, spent about 10 years there. And then we moved back. So we did in 95, late 95. So we came back home here to raise a family, and never looked back really.
Yeah, no, just when you said there that you were over in England at the time, and but you see, when you went to see Daniel, you were going by Irish time, you see. You were told to be there at 8 o'clock, and of course anyone who knows Irish time means that's somewhere around about 8:30, 9 o'clock,
I was just a little bit late now, just a little bit.
Nothing worth worrying about,
We didn't get in anyway, so we didn't.
No.
And I've seen a lot of his shows since, he's a great performer, I have to say, fair play to him,
Yeah, and actually I had a great chat with Daniel here, very, very down to earth man for a guy that is so renowned all over the world at this stage. He's just so down to earth. He's a great guy, and as you say, a wonderful performer.
Oh yeah, he puts everything into it, so he does, and I used to see him there going and watching him, and everything is done right to a T, you know what I mean? Even when he trips, that's in the show, you know what I mean? So
actually, I haven't seen that. What? So when he pretends to trip, or
yeah, he pretend to trip, so he would, yeah.
Good man, Daniel. No, I didn't really mean to do that, so I didn't.
No.
Well, I tell you, I have a load of people looking to say hello to you, Noel. And we have Valerie Wild is there in South Africa, and she's saying hello to you.
Hi Valerie, how are you? I know the weather is good over there compared to us here.
Yeah. Well, actually talking about the weather, over there in New Brunswick on the other side, as the fellow says, of the Atlantic is, Lev and Gloria Jackman over there in New Brunswick, and, there's still snow there, but it's 15 degrees Celsius there today, so, it's starting to thaw out a little bit. And
yeah, thank God.
Yeah. Lev and Gloria Jackman.
How are you?
And then we have Anne Cannon listening in as well. And
how are you, Anne? I do see her on Facebook there.
Yeah, a great supporter of the country music.
Yeah.
And Michelle Orr is over there in Bedford in England.
Hi Michelle, how are you?
And Margaret Moore is up there in Tyrone. Sure, it wouldn't be too far up from yourself, No,
Tyrone's about 2.5 hours, I think, Tyrone.
Yeah, 2.5. Jesus, it takes you that long to get there.
I think it's about 2. No, Tyrone probably about an hour and a half, I'd say. Tyrone is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's that long since I've been up there now, we forget where we're going.
Yeah, I know. I've made it a little bit quicker, but if there's anyone from the constabulary listening in, no, I always drove really, really, really slow.
Yeah, below the speed limit.
Oh, well below it. And Kieran Morrissey is listening in as well. He says to say hello.
Hi Kieran, how are you?
And Ron Hinsley is over there in Wolverhampton, and he said to say hello to you as well.
Hi Ron.
And Noel Keegan is listening in. Noel said to say hello.
Noel. Hi Noel.
And Maureen Burke, she's up there in Leitrim.
Lovely Leitrim.
Yeah, lovely Leitrim. Yeah.
Harry Cunningham's song.
Oh yeah, great. As actually one of her favourites, I believe, you know, so Maureen likes her lovely Leitrim. And Marion and James Duffy are listening in as well.
How are you?
And I wonder, would you just actually say a quick hello there to Yvonne and Peter Rose, who are celebrating, in 2 days' time, they're celebrating 60 years married. So that is a fair achievement in my eyes.
Yeah. Hello, Yvonne and
Peter?
What is it, Yvonne and Peter? 60 years, that's serious, isn't it? You know, not even, I'm a long way from it yet, you know, because 60 years is a long time. I wonder what the secret is. Huh?
Well, one of them might say probably keeps very quiet and lets the other do all the talking. I'd say and of course I'm not going to say which is which here because I won't get into any now. And I don't want to hear anything about 68. Well, I tell you, did you hear what that fella said? Well, no, sure, he said it right. He said it right. And then you could have, well, we're not going to have 61 years now because of that.
And many more to come, please God. Please God.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
And just seeing now, have I any more on the list? Because actually, did I say Marion and James Duffy? I did. Yes, Marion.
You did.
And James. Yeah. But anyway, it was great to have you in there and on for a chat, Noel. And the best of good luck with the new album, and of course with the new single as well. Actually, the 2 new albums. Anyone can release one album. Like, I mean, God help us. Sure, that's run of the mill. Like, I mean,
well, that's what COVID does, like, you know, you get you out there. I'm halfway through the 3rd one as well, so yeah, I'm actually, but, you know, I love recording, you know.
Yeah. Well, you see, when you have a voice like your own good self, like, I mean, it's a waste not to be using it, you know, so.
Thank you. Thanks very much.
But it was great to have you on, Noel, and thanks a million for dropping by, for taking the call anyway.
No, I appreciate you having me on here. Thanks a million. I appreciate it so much. And thanks to all your listeners out there. And, you know, hope they all stay safe and get over through this pandemic and back on the road again, and we can all meet up again and have a good time, you know. And
Margaret Moore actually sent me in another message. She says, I met Noel a few times in the north and I love his music. So there you have it.
Thank you very much. Thanks a million.
Anyway, going to play out with this one, country playing band, Noel Flynn, of course. And as he was saying, it was an original and kind of captures the whole beauty of being on the stage and being a country singer as such, and in a country playing band. Thanks a million, Noel.
Listen, thank you very much, Seamus, and the best to all your listeners out there, and appreciate very much.
And of course, say hello to our Danny Boyle as well here on the station, and Pat Garrett, because you know Pat anyway, as you were saying there.
Oh yeah, as I said with Pat there, it all happened there, you know, with Pat playing us and, you know, giving us the respect back to him as well. You know, great guy, Pat. We done a lot, met up a lot down there in the old days with Mary Gordon and JP and going down and having parties, and, you know, that's good. When I was starting, you know, they were very good to me, you know, and like yourself there as well, like playing us, and it keeps me alive and it keeps things going for me, you know. You wake up, there's songs, great. It's great to be heard on the radio yourself, you know. It just gives you that little boost, you know, because we all have bad days, and, you know, it says, Jesus, this is why I'm doing it, you know what I mean? So, yeah. You know, it's great, and I appreciate that, you know, everybody that plays my music, you know, it's brilliant.
No problem at all, and we'll keep playing it here because you keep coming up with the goods, and we'll definitely keep playing them for you.
Thanks a million.
No problem at all, and thank you, Noel. Going to play out with this one, country playing band and Noel Flynn.
God bless you all.
Well, I started loving country back in 82. I listened to the radio, there was nothing else to do. My friends were into rock and roll, they couldn't understand how I could sit and listen to a country playing band. Well, I got me an old guitar and I taught myself to play some of those old country songs I'd heard along the way. Folks began to gather round and soon they started saying, come on, Joe, the bar's this way. So I began to play. I played songs from old country stars, Bert Haggard and George Jones. Johnny Cash just walked the line. became a big star and I started my own band. We were doing shows in every town across the land. I always will remember just where it all began. Home where I first listened to a country playing band. I played songs from old country stars, Bert Haggard and George Jones. Johnny Cash walked the line at one piece at a time. Songs that I was singing had them dancing round the floor. Before the night was over, they were crying out for more. Years went by, I settled down, found myself a wife. I always will remember country music in my life. So learn to keep it country, and this is what you do. Find yourself a guitar and learn to play it too. I played songs from old country stars, Bert Haggard and George Jones. Johnny Cash just walked the line at one piece at a time. Songs that I was singing had them dancing round the floor. Before the night was over, they were crying out for more. I played songs from old country stars, Bert Haggard and George Jones. Johnny Cash just walked the line at one piece at a time. Songs that I was singing had them dancing round the floor. Before the night was over, they were crying out for more.
Bringing you the best in country and Irish music. This is your station, irishcountrymusicradio.com.